Before we dive in, here's another show you can enjoy in the True Story FM family of entertainment podcasts.
Hey, psst. Hey, you see that Snickers over there? If no one's looking, you should just take it.
No! Don't listen to him, my son. That would be stealing, and stealing is a sin.
Sin Schmin, it's a friggin' Snickers bar. You deserve to have it. Sinning really satisfies you.
Repent, my child. Virtue is the only real snack worth savoring. For that candy bar is merely a gateway to nougat damnation. Has this ever happened to you?
Listening to the devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other, and you're not sure what to think?
Then we're here to help. I'm Pete Wright.
And I'm Tommy Metz III, and this season on All the Feelings, we're examining the 7 deadly sins.
You know, the fun ones.
And the 7 heavenly virtues.
Which are also a thing. Through personal stories, historical oddities, and way too much embarrassment, we take you on a thrilling journey through all the goods and the bads you hear about in church.
But without all that pesky church stuff. So come join us for All the Feelings Season 9, a sometimes funny podcast about being human. All the sins, all the virtues.
All in one place. Go to allthefeelings.fun to learn more, or subscribe to All the Feelings wherever you get your podcasts.
Game over.
Do you like movies?
Do you like sports?
I never played that sport on the screen, but I really enjoyed how the movie made me feel.
Well then, have we got a show for you. The Adrian Moment is where my friend Ocean and I discuss the triangulation of sports, movies, and life.
We dive deep into the movies, discussing how they relate to and have affected our lives.
We will talk about why the sport matters to the movie, why you don't have to love the sport to enjoy the movie, and mine a few nuggets of meaning inside the story you may not have realized was really there.
After listening to our show, come join us for more conversations about the movies that portray the thrill of victory
and the agony of defeat.
Find the Adrian Moment podcast on your favorite podcast app and join us while we cover the sports you love and the ones you never think about.
You will never see sports or sport movies the same again.
Coming up, we put verse jumping on a bagel. Greetings, Verse Jumpers. I'm not Lester Ryan Clark.
And I'm not Keenan Diaz.
We're another version of them from another universe, and this is another episode of Every Minute of Everything Everywhere All at Once, a show where we attempt to explain, evaluate, enlighten, and elucidate the Academy Award-winning film Everything Everywhere All at Once. Okay, so our minute begins with Alf Waymond teaching Evelyn how to verse jump.
And it ends with him saying, "I've seen you die 1,000 ways in 1,000 worlds."
Not making me feel better about verse jumping, Waymond. Has this roller coaster been tested? Once.
In another world.
Yeah. But don't worry, folks, that's not going to happen to this Evelyn, right? Wait a minute. George R.R. Martin, what are you doing here? Oh no, we're all fucked. Guys, no one is safe. Are you also writing current events right now? Like, was that your idea? You got one of the most beloved and holy people on the planet, Pope Francis, and he meets with J.D. Littlefinger? And the Pope's the one that goes? No, folks, we're not saying that J.D. Vance killed the Pope. But we also don't have due process anymore, so take them away, boys. But no, I'm on the edge, folks. This whole minute is about life and death and whether or not our Evelyn is the Evelyn.
Yeah.
And we've seen what happens to the other ones. So let's get to the top here. Our minute begins with Waymond continuing his explanation. Remember, last minute he started saying how she's able to link her consciousness to another version of herself. And here he says, accessing all their memories, their skills, even their emotions.
Right.
That's two things I didn't even think about, and I don't know if I want those two things.
I had forgotten him saying that until we were like watching this really closely. Yeah, the memories and the emotions part.
Yeah, like I want to spin the riot shield like a pizza sign.
Right, exactly.
But I don't want those emotions or memories right now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. But I think he's saying you could access them if you want to, right? Like you can pick and choose.
Yeah, I think that it's like I think that's going to help me as we're looking at the rest of the movie again, like really, really closely. Like, I think that's Alpha Waymond is used to it, but that might be what's giving Alpha or not Alpha Evelyn, whatever the opposite of that is. This one, the worst
Our
Evelyn.
Evelyn. Yeah.
Yeah, this Evelyn is but beyond beta, right? I mean, like, so Omega Evelyn. Like
Well, see,
the
this is why.
lowest of
This is
lowest.
why I think the best term for it is our Evelyn.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
So our Evelyn, I think that might be what causes her to have such problems is that she doesn't know how to deal with the emotions and memories part of it. So I'm going to keep an eye on that and see if that's true. I mean, certainly it's true for, say, the opera universe or the kung fu universe or whatever. But is it also happening to the sign spinner universe? And she's like taking on, oh gosh, I'm a sign spinner, so I make $18 an hour, and I don't have enough money to pay for my phone bill this month or whatever. That's a lot of stuff.
Oh, I didn't even think about it. See, like I thought the reason for people like breaking once they can see and be everything everywhere is because it's just too much for for one brain. But you're saying also it's like, oh, they don't know how to like just get the skills. They're also getting like all the existential dread and the emotions and the memories of like trauma and stuff like that. And they can't like cherry pick the good stuff without all the bad stuff.
Yeah, or maybe that she doesn't know how to yet, and maybe at the end of the movie she does. She can compartmentalize or or feel all of it the right way. But yeah, Alpha Waymond maybe does, and maybe Jobu has part of the opposite problem, right? Where she has, as she's getting super, super strong in all these different ways, she's also getting super, super depressed and super wounded and angry.
I feel like she's like on the like all the way on the other end of the spectrum. Like like our Evelyn like can't it's just like a geyser. She can't like control what's coming at her. And maybe Waymond has learned how to do that, and Jobu has like transcended so much that she doesn't see the point. She's like, well, it's like everything is everything. Everything is connected anyway. It's like, why would I, it's like that existential dread from the pizza universe exists in all the other universes as well. So why am I worried about it?
Right. Yeah, I'm going to keep tracking that as we move forward on this viewing.
Yeah, see, folks, like every single time I watch this, and now, this is one of the reasons I wanted to do the show was I could have like another set of eyes and another brain to talk with this about. Okay, so I think I'm catching on, and so is Evelyn, right? We cut, and I love this delivery. She says, like you with the fanny pack, right? She's so skeptical and also a little bit embarrassed to be even saying this out loud.
Right.
But you can see she also wants to learn how this works. Right. I also like this exchange because as Waymond is explaining all of this to Evelyn, he's also explaining it to us, right? And Evelyn is us, right? Asking the follow-up questions like, oh, is that what the fanny pack was, right?
Right.
And the mentor does this all the time with the hero, right? They're teaching the hero something in the movie, but for us, they're explaining the rules of the movie, right? They're telling Frodo about the One Ring. They're telling Luke about the Force, right? The judge is explaining that Daniel can't see his kids again unless he acquires a steady job and a suitable residence, right? No rules other than that. Just that he, Daniel Hillard, or anybody who looks like Daniel Hillard won't be allowed in that house.
It's like, got it, Chief. Right.
There's no rules that say Mrs. Doubtfire can't play basketball. Yeah. But no, I love this exposition drop, right? Like he's teaching her, but we're learning as well. And I like this cut here too, right? He says, exactly. It's called verse jumping, right? And she even repeats it under her breath. She's like, verse jumping, right? And we're back over his shoulder, like they're in bed. And I know we talked about how intimate this scene looks, but every week that we're in this scene, I'm reminded of how sweet it is. Folks, like just last week, we had a movie day at my school. I hosted it and we watched Everything Everywhere. And we got to this scene and someone in the audience was like, aw. So we're not the only ones. I think that it was meant to be like this, shot like this.
And we haven't seen them in their bed at home because when we cut into their life at the beginning of the movie, they're already, midday.
Right, yeah. Yeah, actually, so we've never, Oh, that's a good point, yeah. And I love how Michelle Yeoh looks here, right? Her eyes sort of flick away and she's looking inward. And literally, you could put these characters in an actual bed, same lighting, same poses, and it looks like Waymond is reassuring her, like she's worried about something, right? You know, those nighttime talks you have with your partner about the future, like what's going to happen to the laundromat, or I'm worried about Joy. And Waymond is reassuring her that it's going to be all right. Or it's like, do you really think my father's right about me? Or something like that, right? It's really heartbreaking, this face that she's making. I have it on freeze frame, and it looks like one of those, you know, nighttime worries that no one else is privy to, right? This is the vulnerable Evelyn that only Waymond sees, and only at night, right before sleep. All other times, she's got that mask up, right? She's tough, she can handle whatever, but I bet Waymond sees this face and this expression a lot. What do you think?
Yeah, well, maybe. I hear what you're saying, but maybe she keeps that mask. You know, maybe they don't have these kind of moments anymore, you know, as much as they used to, because she lived, you know, she's like that as soon as she wakes up all the way until she sleeps, because so many of her concerns are about him and their relationship there. And, you know, so it's possible that they don't, you know, they follow that rule of like, and I've seen some people criticize this rule, but I think it's handy, like, you know, the never fall asleep angry sort of a thing, like never leave an argument for the next morning or whatever. Like, I don't know, I could see this Evelyn doing those things.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, like, I want to take back what I said. This seems like something that early Evelyn and Waymond would do, but maybe that's part of the problem, is that this isn't happening anymore.
Right, exactly. And now we're in the middle of the action, and they're forced to do that again.
Yeah. And
it's a lot like, you know, our Jamie Lee Curtis movie True Lies that maybe we'll take a look at, you know.
Oh, like we're definitely going to take a look at.
Oh, good. Oh, thank God. Like they haven't had those conversations in a while, and then they're forced to do that in the middle of gunfire and Harrier jets stealing their daughter and all that stuff. But they're doing it, for the first time in, you know, probably 15 years.
Maybe that's the one that we look at next, since it's kind of thematically linked in this way.
All right, great.
Yeah. But yeah, folks, from there, we jump right into an actual scary thing. Waymond says, and I need you to learn how to do it right now. Darth Vader's right there. Kill him. Jeez.
Right. Tell him his mom would be ashamed of him.
Yeah.
That'll be right.
Hurry, there's Voldemort. Go right now.
Tell him his mom would be ashamed of him.
Yeah.
That's the problem with all these villains.
I mean, well, yeah, I'm thinking, yeah.
Daenerys Targaryen. Tell her.
Yeah.
Your mother would be ashamed of you.
Sauron, sure.
Oh, Norman Bates.
Yeah.
Your mother would be ashamed of you.
And the devil said to Jesus in the desert, it's like, all of these kingdoms of the world I will give to you if you fall down and worship me. And Jesus said unto him, do you really think that's what Dad would want? And the devil was like, shut up.
No, I guess not.
Promise we weren't going to talk about Dad. But yeah, no. But that's the, like, okay, this is the Force. You're a wizard. Here, magic exists.
Right.
And like every story, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing. This is a good, like, trope. It's like, okay, you you know about it, but you're not quite ready, and that's when we're going to throw you into the, you know, into the thick of it. It's like, I need you to do it right now. You just learned about it, but you need to, like, do it right now, right? And Evelyn says, right now? And we also feel that jump in our stomach, right? Like, but he's turned away, and he's listening to his headset, and then he turns back as we cut, and he says, it may be our only chance of getting out of here alive. Another cut, he hands the phone to her, and we see Evelyn's face. She's afraid, but she's not objecting. Did you notice that, folks? Right? She still doesn't know what the heck is going on, but she's a little more in it than before, I think. Right?
Yeah, that she believes this for sure. I think this is happening. There's not really any turning back at this point. It feels great.
No. Right. Waymond reaches up, and we see that this bigwig manager type who owns this desk really likes gum. Or do you think this is like Deirdre and Mel? This is like the one thing they bond on is like sticking gum under Mr. Mosk's desk. That's the floor manager's name, I decided. Leon Mosk. And everybody hates him.
Oh, sure, everybody hates him.
And he tries to be buddy-buddy like, I'm one of you.
Yeah, he brought a
Right.
sink to the office on the first day.
Mhm,
Let
mhm.
this sink in.
Yeah.
They're like,
right?
oh, yeah.
But then the rest of his jokes are like really offensive and people get really uncomfortable, right? And he's like, oh, legalize comedy. Oh. And every week he sends you an email asking for 3 things you did that week. He's actually not even the boss. Like, the actual boss is playing golf.
Right.
And he's just sitting at that desk. Right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the 3 things I did that week are like laugh at your little jokes,
Yep.
compliment your shoes, not punch you in the back of the head.
Yep. So yeah, actually that's not his gum. That's everyone in the office's gum. Because even Mel is like, this guy sucks.
Yeah, because I was wondering about that because we need the gum there. I get that, as you know, it's funny, but yeah, who does that to their own desk? Like if you're
Right.
listening in other countries, we do that in America to our school desks.
It's like a trope. It's like a like in any 80s school movie,
right.
there's going to be gum under a student's desk.
I think that really happens though.
Oh, yes, I can attest.
Yeah. Oh
It
yeah,
does.
you still teach K-12, right? In a private school even, and they do
Yes,
that.
in a private school.
Yeah,
It's rich kids' gum.
But I think part of it is like you're not supposed to have gum, and then to get up and throw away your gum halfway through the class is to admit you had the gum, and so people like put the gum under there, which I never did that, but you know, I think that's why it happens. But so yeah, why does this boss do it? He can go to the trash can whenever he wants to.
And why isn't there somebody to, you know, like, well, I guess they don't know about it, right? They come in and they clean the office and, you know, they're not going to look under the freaking desk because what kind of disgusting animal would put gum under their desk?
Yeah, or he's told them not to clean it. There's a little sign under there that says, keep me.
Legalize gum. But no, I don't think it's his. I think it's everybody else in the office.
Yes, I like
They're putting that gum.
That makes much more sense.
Yeah. And he's in there so infrequently
Right.
that he never even notices.
Right.
Right.
He's assistant manager at 4 other corporations. And
Right.
He says that he's really important.
4 other failed corporations, yes. Well, I can't be in today. There's a fire sale at my other place. Oh. Anyway. But yeah, Waymond reaches up. He grabs some gum. He puts it in his mouth. The logistics of this, like for the actor, do you think Ke Huy Quan chewed that gum beforehand? And did, you know?
Oh, that must be, yeah.
Because it
It's his
has
gum,
to be his old gum, I would
Right.
hope, right? Or they put it in a special like non-human chewing machine. So it resembles pre-chewed gum, but it's not actually pre-chewed gum, you know?
I was watching more interviews in like BTS of the crew this week, and like, yeah, just based on how rushed this crew was, although, you know, again, it looks spectacular.
Yes.
But all of them are like, oh God, we had no idea. We were just running and gunning and doing all this stuff. Yeah, they probably don't have some like fancy movie fake chewed gum solution they brought in or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, it must be gum.
Yeah.
And again, considering that they only had 8 packs of pudding. And their pudding budget was way over budget.
Right. Yeah, if James Hong had to like regurgitate pudding for multiple takes, then this is probably real gum.
Probably real gum, yeah.
And I'm
that's
gonna
much easier.
guess, unless Ke Huy Quan is really method, I'm guessing that this is his gum that he. Yeah.
You think that they're like, okay, hey, so what we're gonna have you chew this gum and put it on there. It's like, no, that's not real. I need someone else to come in and chew this gum. I don't want to fake it, man.
Yeah. Come on, it's Danking my skeez. I think that's
Danking my skeez.
I don't know. I gave up halfway through that one.
Is that a real phrase?
I think no, I don't think so.
Great, perfect. Now we own it.
Yeah.
We can put it on T-shirts.
Yeah, I think I took a bunch of other slangs and just mashed them up, much like the gum under that desk.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, okay, so he reaches up, he gets the gum. We get another shot of Evelyn being disgusted but not surprised. Like maybe she doesn't know why he's doing this yet, but she and I think we at this point understand that every time he does a weird thing, his headset makes a noise and he gets powers.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe what she's doing. Yes, that's exactly it.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know nothing beyond that, but I love how the movie is like, that's all you need to know for now.
Right, yeah. Trust him. Trust this guy.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, this guy punched that lady in the face, remember? Trust him. He's cool.
Wait, when did Waymond punch Evelyn punch somebody?
There's security guard up
yeah,
there
yeah.
who got punched in the face.
Got a whole bunch of things to the face, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it totally works. Like we're totally on board. We've seen him eat the chapstick. We've seen him put the rocks in the fanny pack. We understand that much already.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And they're getting they're sufficiently weird. So like we have 135 minutes of this show, something like that we're gonna do.
Yeah.
Wait, 140 minutes of our show that we're going to do. And we're going to have to come up with weird things to do every week, and it's tough sometimes.
Yeah.
But they've picked, here, they have the luxury of spending months thinking about the weird things. And so they're sufficiently weird. They're odd. And so we're just going to get in that pattern, and we're going to get it. Like, okay, this is odd. This isn't him chewing this gum because he wanted to, because he's strange. He's doing it because he needs to do them.
It's all of them are set up in a way so that we understand that the next thing happens because of it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's not, oh, he's going to verse jump, but first he's going to be weird and eat this gum.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's not Alf or something, or an alien.
Right. He's Alpha. Sorry. Anyway. But yeah, he gets out from under the desk. He pushes the headset button on his, and his head jerks up as he jumps. Then he exhales. We get the sense that he's back from the other universe, and he spits the gum out, and he says, 2 guards coming this way. On my signal, try to blend in. Now, what skill do you think he accessed? I also love that, that they never tell us, right?
That's interesting, right?
It could be anything. It was like super hearing, super smell. Was he literally a fly on the wall for a second? Like down the hall, he's like in a universe that's exactly the same, except he's a fly, and he's like down the hall, like on the wall.
That's interesting. I guess I hadn't thought of that, right? Because, geez, what does he get? The chapstick gives him fanny pack skills. I don't know what universe he's getting the fanny pack skills from.
Right? Into some martial arts thing.
Right. The rocks give him another one, or what?
The rocks gave him. What did the rocks give him?
Some other martial art skill?
Yeah.
I don't know. So this one might help his hearing or something. I don't know. That's interesting.
Right?
We're in the dark about that.
Yeah. You know where I think he went? I think he went to truestory.fm/join and found Banana for Scale. Hey, that's us.
Yeah.
Because he knows you can get bonus episodes of all our shows, access to our Discord, and he can get his episodes a week early, so he probably listened to the next episode, and that's how he knows everything already. Right? And all that for just $5, folks. But if you're not sure about that, one thing you can do that's absolutely free and would really help us out would be to give us a 5-star rating on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to our podcasts. That and sharing the show by word of mouth or on social media is going to help our little podcast grow and find more cool people like you. And who knows, it might be one little step in your mission to save the universes. Never know until you try. Nah. But yeah, no. He's getting up, and Evelyn says, "Shen Jinping." Remember, that's her favorite word for Waymond, means crazy. We follow them to the glass door, and now Evelyn is having her doubts. She says, "Why don't you get your Evelyn to do this?"
That's a great question.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would have been able to think of that on the fly, but she's like, okay, our Evelyn has the ability to puss out on a task halfway through. So maybe that's her superpower.
Is that, oh my gosh, if the other Evelyns need to do, has any other Evelyn verse jumped into this world to get something?
Right.
Like what would it be?
How could I back out of this as gracefully as possible, right? How do I half do a job and then walk out again?
I need to win this argument with my daughter.
Right.
By brilliant. I'll just end it and walk away.
Right.
Yeah. But again, folks, look how far she's come, right? She believes in the magic. She believes there are other Evelyns and other Waymonds and all of that. Right. But she's still got all that character work to do, right? All that growing, right? We're still at the beginning. This is like when Marley visits Scrooge. It's after Scrooge accepts that, Marley's not a hallucination, right? You're not an undigested bit of beef and all that stuff, right? And then he tries to bargain with Marley, like, oh, what if I just had all the ghosts at once and get it over with, right? Like, he believes in the ghosts, but he's still old Scrooge at that point. And this is still old Evelyn trying to bargain with the people from the magical world.
Yeah,
right?
And that's a great question on Scrooge's half too. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that make Marley. I know you're not like the focus of the show, but time. Well, I guess time isn't money when there's eternity. So
Mar's like, this is already Mr. Dickens' shortest book.
Yeah,
What are you
that's
trying
true.
to do?
That's true. It's not even. You can't even call it a novella. You have to call it a novelette. It's like they invented a new word for it. It's just long enough to not be called a short story. Yeah. But anyway,
It's also the only Dickens I've finished because
because the gap, there is no in between with Dickens. It's either like almost a short story or like a brick. It's like the Bible.
Yeah, I happen on my desk to be pretty close to my copy of Great Expectations. Let's see. 500 pages.
Yeah.
Jeez, that's heavy. All right. Put you back there. Come back to you later.
Yes. Yeah. But
No,
okay.
actually, if I so to talk about Great Expectations, sorry,
Yes,
this
yes,
is a
yes.
tangent here. With the Dickens trap, I suppose.
Yep. Oh. You there, boy! What trap is this?
Why, it's a Dickens trap, of course, sir. No, so in high school we read Great Expectations, and then I was like, oh, okay, that was an interesting. We spent like a month on Great Expectations in 10th grade English, and I was like, oh wow, that was really cool. And then afterwards, I read the back of the book and find out this is the abridged version. And I'm like, oh, so I haven't read Great Expectations, right? Right? Like, would you count that as me reading Great Expectations or not?
That's hard. Yeah.
I think I know the whole story, but what am I missing? I'll never know without reading
Right.
one. And now the full one's 500 fucking pages.
And somebody decided that the abridged version was all you need.
For,
but then,
10th grade English or whatever.
Right. But then like Dickens, scholars will say that's an abomination.
Yes, I'm sure, right.
Like you need the chapter where he's just like alone in his room talking, to his pen. Or whatever.
No, Pip can't afford pens.
No. Talking to his pen that's not there. Because it's in his mind.
Only I had a pen. Oh, what a gentleman I should become if I had a pen.
But that actually, like, I think an abridged book serves nothing except to prepare you for the whole book.
So I was meant to go back and read the whole thing at
Yes.
some point.
I think like it does the exact opposite of what it advertises to do, because it's like, oh, you can get done with Great Expectations and never have to worry about it again. It's like, no, now you are primed and prepared for Great Expectations, and now you can read the whole goddamn thing. Right.
All right, let's see here.
It's like, why would you watch the theatrical cut of Lord of the Rings? So that you could be more excited when they release the extended version.
Yeah, just for people to tell me like, oh, you haven't really seen them.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck did I? All right, so let's start to fix this right now.
Okay.
Chapter 1. My father's family name being Pirrup and my Christian name Philip. My infant.
Oh no! We're not doing an Andy Kaufman
thing.
thing. No.
Well, fine then. Then I guess we'll never. if I get cut off in the middle of the first paragraph, even. All right. Well, jeez. Put you back on it. See, in 20 years, my copy of Great Expectations.
You're gonna get to the pearly gates, and it's like there's just one thing that I need you to do before we let you in.
Well, I guess I'd rather go to hell then.
No, you get to the pearly gates, and instead of St. Peter, it's Charles Dickens. And he's like, we take turns, like
right, sure,
like at the little podium,
right?
And you're like, oh, great, and you make the mistake of saying, I love your work, and he's like, well, what have you read of mine? And then before you say Christmas Carol,
right?
He cuts you off and he says, don't say Christmas Carol.
Don't say Christmas Carol.
Because everybody says that.
Right. Yeah, literally getting ready for the AP literature exams. That's 12th grade AP English. They gave you that little note like, hey, these are things that we would consider you well read if you've read these things, like a long list of things. And it said Dickens, in parentheses, not Christmas Carol.
And so you're kind of like, shuffling on your feet on the clouds, and and you say, well, I read Great Expectations. I really loved it.
Right. Great. Wonderful. Mm-hmm.
And he's like, and then he asks you about the chapter that's like his personal favorite.
Right. Like, oh, I don't remember that. There's not a lot of Miss Havisham in that chapter.
Right. Yeah.
About, right?
You don't remember like the whole drama with the tea cozy and the chimney sweep?
Cozy, no.
And you're just like inside. You're like, there's a chimney sweep in every fucking of your stories. Like.
Yeah, or a gas lamp lighter, or
an undertaker, or
a beetle,
Yeah,
right.
But it eventually you admit it's like, I'm sorry, I read the abridged version.
That's what they do in American high schools.
Yeah.
They make you read the abridged version.
And he's like, oh, and he still lets you in, but now nobody in heaven will talk to you.
And there's one way to fix all this, which is to spend a week and a half of your infinite time in heaven.
Yes.
Reading the real Great Expectations.
Yes.
And you just always find something else to do instead.
Yeah. Yep. You end up reading every other book of his. Several times. But every time, it's you're just walking down the streets paved with gold, you bump into Dick, and you never want to bump into. You're just like, oh fuck, and you try to duck into a little corner or whatever, right? But he catches you before you can disappear, and he's like, oh, did you is this the year? And you're like, no, Mr. Dickens, I read the entire Bible, but no. And he's just like, he has that look of a father who's not angry, just disappointed in you. And he's like, oh, okay, well, I'll just be over here. And as he walks away, you don't see it happen, but somehow it does happen. He turns like back into that little orphan waif, and he's just coughing with his coal lung, and
right.
And you don't have the heart to, like, you killed that boy. We want to believe it was the Industrial Revolution, and human greed, but no, you killed that boy. Okay, let's get out of here.
Goodbye, heaven.
Yes, which is contained within the Dickens trap somehow. Oh my goodness, God. Whew. I feel like Scrooge on that journey. But luckily for Evelyn, Waymond shuts that conversation down early.
Right, not even abridged.
Yeah.
It's like, we're done with this. Yeah.
And he says, my Evelyn is dead.
Oh,
right?
Geez.
I like this too. It's like, it's sad, it's shocking, right? It also gets us thinking, like, wait a minute, why? What happened? Hang on, what's this? God damn it, George R.R. Martin. Just verse jumping all over the place, killing people,
killing whole universes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I like this shot of them. So we've cut to the outside of Leon Mosk's office. So we're seeing them through this glass window, like the whole
exactly
wall is
kind of like
window,
the setup for my office. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're seeing them have this conversation, but it has all this reflection of the other side of the office. So it's really like kind of messy. So it's not like an unclean window, but like we just have sort of like blurs over them a little bit. So like they're having this pretty intense revelation to her, right? But we don't quite have the time to like really let that sink in. So we also visually just sort of let it like hide their emotions a little bit and like cover their emotions and like
right.
No time for that. You heard what I said. Let's go.
Right. And it's a special kind of exposition. It's like a sad exposition. Now we want to know like what the hell happened.
Right.
But okay, you and I both said that this is a surprising like as soon as he says it.
Right.
Why are we surprised? We already know that she's dead.
How do we already know that she's dead?
Because when he does the, like, I'm Alpha Waymond, I come from the Alphaverse, we cut to him in the van, and he looks over, and he sees her shrine.
Yeah, her urn, yeah.
So, but I'm not, like, pointing this out as a mistake. I'm, like, because it got both of us still.
Right.
How? Because we already knew.
I guess it's just because we're with Evelyn now and we're seeing this, right? Like we're seeing her reaction to it, yeah. And she's stunned by it. I think it's one thing for us objectively to see it, and another thing for us to subjectively be Evelyn and being told like, "Oh, you got murdered."
Right. That is a good point, because it's like and that adds credence to like the idea that, you know, we are the main character in the movies, right? Like in every movie, like we are, like that's, you know, the main character is a vessel for us, and so any surprise that they feel, it's like we feel too, you know.
Right.
That's why, like, you know, no, I am your father. Even if you know it, it still kind of gets to you because, like, that's Luke experiencing it for the first time.
Right. I wonder about the kids today, these darn kids today, who watch it, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that.
We were just talking about that at school. We had a parent said that they're showing their kids the Star Wars, movies, and the entire break room of teachers erupted into this fight of whether it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3.
I don't understand that argument at all, that it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't get it at all.
It ruins the surprise.
Because that's not the way that you but that's not the way that you watched it. Like you're trying to encourage your kids to have the same experience as you.
Right.
And then you're not. You're going out of order, so I don't get it, but
yeah. But we can't tell other people how to raise their kids.
They have our permission to raise their kids as poorly as they want.
Sure. Right.
No, now I'm thinking about all the things I hate in Revenge of the Sith, which is my least favorite of all of the Star Warses, right? We talked. Oh, I guess we talked about this on our bonus episode.
Yeah.
For Wicked. So you have to listen to that fully there. But like, you know, the prequely things that I really dislike about most prequels of like, hey, here's that thing, wink, wink. Remember this, wink, wink. You know, that sort of stuff. And it's like, well, but this isn't driving story at all. It's just like, hey, look, here, she gets a hat, you know, or whatever. But like in Revenge of the Sith, that's a huge chunk of the last like 20 minutes of the movie is like, look, here's the Wookiees or whatever. And if you're watching it 1, 2, 3, then you're like, oh, here's some fuzzy things getting arrested. Why would I care about that at all?
Oh, they're Bathans or whatever.
I meant Wookiees.
Oh, okay. Well, isn't there one where we see many Bathans die?
I don't know what that is. I don't understand the question, and I refuse to answer.
There's a line in the original, you know, in 4, 5, and 6, I forget which one, but somebody says many Bathans died to give us this information. And then we're like, wow, we've never seen a Bathan. We don't know what a Bathan is. But this is like, you know, I think it's the Death Star plans. It's like a lot of people died to give us this information. And someone's like, let's make a movie about when the Bathans die. And we show what Bathans are.
Okay.
I mean,
but if you do it, you know. But anyways, all I'm getting when I Google is it takes me directly to Bed Bath and Beyond. But anyways, yeah. So like you see these Wookiees and like, why wouldn't you be just like, that's an odd thing to cut to at the emotional climax of this trilogy is just new fuzzy people.
I like it when, see, I'm not completely against it. I like it when A, it's done in moderation, and B, I like it when it adds something.
Yeah.
Like, a young, yes, I knew your father. A young Jedi named Darth Vader killed him. And we're like, ooh, that's a really cool bit of lore. Right. And we've already seen Darth Vader. This is interesting. And then we find, no, I am your father. And it's like, oh, it's from a certain point of view, then we're like, oh, that's like, this is new and it adds to it. It makes it better. Right.
But that's what I mean. If you're watching them out of order in 1, 2, 3, then they're just batshit crazy lines.
Right. Then we know it's like, actually, yeah. So if you like, by the time you get, like, if you start with episode 1, by the time you get to episode 4, and he's like, a young Jedi named Darth Vader killed your father. It's like, no, that's not what happened.
I don't know. So but I don't know. Yeah, watch. You know what? When a student tells me they've never seen Star Wars, do you know what I tell them?
Oh, I think I remember, but remind me.
Yeah, they say, I haven't seen any Star Wars. And I say, good, just don't. Just don't at this point. It's too late for you. If you've lived your whole life at this point not seeing Star Wars, it's fine. It's fine. Don't let them, like, compel you to think, like, oh, God, you have to see this. Because it's a whole world. Because they'll never stop. You're like, oh, I watched the first Star Wars. Like, no, you've got to watch the next Star Wars. It never ends. It never ends. You're never free.
Okay, Jobu.
Like,
Jesus.
Like Dickens.
Yeah, I feel like we're still in that trap.
You think he'll be satisfied if you finally read Great Expectations?
We're in one of his workhouses now.
He's not going to tell you to move on to the Pickwick Papers or the Edwin Drood or something. Of course he will.
You there, boy. Where's the boy? He got swallowed up by one of the machines in the Industrial Revolution. We have to. I have to clutch the Ghost of Christmas Future's cloak and sob into it. Okay, but yeah, I like the look that Evelyn gives him right here after he drops this bomb. My Evelyn is dead. I like how he doesn't give her or us time to process it.
Right.
He says, go. And then he bursts out of the door and begins screaming, oh my God, what's going on? Help us. And we immediately understand that he's not only pretending to be an innocent bystander, he is imitating our Waymond. Because Alpha Waymond's voice never gets like that.
Right.
So Ke Huy Quan has so far created two distinct characters, and he's done such a good job that we can tell when one of them is imitating the other, even though they're played by the same person. So he's playing one character, imitating another character that he also plays.
Right.
That's hard, folks.
Yeah. Sometimes Seth MacFarlane will play one of his characters doing an impression of the other character.
Right.
And I don't know how to do that. So I could do an okay Roger the Alien, right? And I could do an okay Stan Smith, but there's one where Stan Smith does an impression of Roger the Alien. And he says, I like wine. And I can't do it.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
But you have to be like, that's like in all the schools, that's what they call character work. Like you know these characters like so in and out that like you can say, well, what would Alpha Waymond sound like if he was imitating our Waymond?
Right. I like what you're saying. I hadn't really thought of it that way, that he's putting on Waymond's voice, which he is, right? But it kind of even feels like this is like our Waymond's idea of how to sneak past the guards somehow. But it works. It's not inept. It actually works.
Right.
Yeah, by being more like hysterical or something. Yeah.
Right. Be more like the everybody else in that crowd.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Because if you're like just kind of walking just kind of quietly trying to not be noticed, and everybody else is screaming around you, then you're probably going to get noticed.
Right.
But yeah, they seamlessly slip into the crowd of people rushing out of there. They pass two security guards, not Officer Brian and his team, thank God. They're probably still like in ambulances or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. And we cut as Waymond opens the door into a stairwell.
Right.
We don't see stairs yet, but this shot just feels very stairwellian. Like Big Brother is watching me.
So we know it's a stairwell just by that's a good point.
Right? Or have I seen this movie so many times I know where they are?
No, it's definitely a stairwell.
Okay.
I guess the door has that weird window that keeps you from the door opening into your face and you falling down the stairs.
Right.
So you can see someone coming in.
Yeah. But yeah, seems like Evelyn is still reeling from that bit of exposition. She starts to speak and she kind of like catches herself. And then she says, how did I die?
Right.
Interesting. So we've gone from them being separate, why don't you get your Evelyn to do this, to how did I die? I like that. Very subtle indication that she's getting pulled in, right? Would you want to know?
I don't know, because
how did the other version of me die?
Yeah, because it's not like how do versions of me die throughout the multiverse, which is like, I fall down the stairs because someone pushes the door the wrong way, or I get hit by a car. But this is like a specific one. Like, tell me about this specific version. That feels too intimate and too like I would have too much empathy for a specific Evelyn who dies.
Yeah. But yeah, Alpha Waymond says, I've seen you die 1,000 ways in 1,000 worlds.
Wait, what would you want?
You know what? Actually, I would rather just know that the end. No, I agree with what you're saying. Like, I don't want to know about one, but if I die in every universe, I'm like, well, yeah,
sure,
okay,
eventually, yeah, space time.
Sometimes, yes,
die, yeah.
Sometimes heroically, sometimes not heroically.
Yeah,
don't tell me about those ones. And it's
right.
like. Yeah.
Many, many times on the toilet.
Yeah.
More times than I could say.
Like, as infinite as the universe is, there's a large, sometimes you're looking at different phones. That's kind of like as far as the variation goes. But, yeah.
Yeah, one of the biggest slices on the pie chart. Let's just say that.
And there's just like this awkwardness as we're just standing looking at each other in the stairwell. And he's like, so anyway, let's save the universe. But no, folks, that's where we're going to have to leave them, in this stairwell that's not a stairwell yet. But Keenan, what do we think of this minute?
Oh, yes, it is good. So we get our first term of verse jumping, which, again, like we just take it for granted. We know that term. We like that term. But yeah, this is where it starts. So yeah.
Not only where it's introduced in the movie, but like you were saying earlier, that this might be like the Daniels like coined term.
I think so. Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, that's really cool. But yeah, folks, this has been the 36th minute of Every Minute of Everything Everywhere All at Once. I've been Lester Ryan Clark. You can reach me in all the universes as Lester Ryan Clark.
And I've been Keenan Diaz. In your universe, I'm on Letterboxd and Instagram as Howdy Keenan.
Yeah, we got our Facebook listener group, Banana for Scale. That's a community for all of our shows, including this one. It's a private group, but just request to join and you'll be sucked into the banana. All right. Okay, so it is time to jump. God, I'm eyeing that gum, but I don't want...
No, you take it.
That gum. No, well, no, I literally physically don't want that gum. But you know what I am going to do? Yeah, right above this desk, right next to that bonsai tree, there is a computer, it looks like, with a sticky note. I hope that's like the username and password. I'm just gonna, quickly log into Mr. Mosk's little database here, and I'm gonna doge things up a little bit.
Good. Well, I guess neither of us are going for that gum because I'm going to see this stairway door that is so unsafe because this window is so tiny here, and I'm going to make it my life's work to replace all of the doors in this building with glass ones, so you can see the entire time who's on the other side of it, and it's very, very, very safe. And I'm going to spend, I don't know, probably 15 years replacing every door and every stairwell here. And then as soon as I'm done, someone will say like, well, the reason we have these tiny windows is because it's pretty ugly to look into this bare-ass stairwell on the other side. And I'll say, oh, right. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah.
And then you're going to spend the next 15 years
I'll say,
replacing...
hey, let me go do something else now. I'm going to Evelyn
What's this?
Wong
Great Expectations. What?
Well, where'd you put the old doors? And I'll say, see ya! With my empire of doors.
Okay. All right. We got our objects. We got our things. Keenan, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
I took her hand in mine, we went out of the ruined place, and as the morning mist had risen long ago when I first left the forge, so the evening mists are rising now, and in all the broad expanse of tranquil light they showed to me, I saw no shadow of another parting from her. The end.
Well, there you go. See, you did read it.
Yeah, that's a very abridged version.
Yes. The spirits have done it all in one night, folks. All right. Let's get out of here. 1, 2, 3.